Hey everybody, it's me, RWP, the Real World Prepper, and I would like to chime in with my video response to Kansas Prepper and Guns Coast to Coast and A American regarding Kansas's post about why won't the Patriots do anything, or why haven't they, or whatever the title of it was. So let me start with this. A American. I agree with what he said, and he said it very well. In fact, you should watch his video. You should watch all these videos, A Americans, Guns Coast to Coast, and Kansas Preppers. And perhaps I will link them down below. So A Americans' main takeaway that I gathered from him that I agreed with was that people are too comfortable. People don't want to let go of conveniences. They want to be able to go to shows. They want to be able to go and do things. And so nobody wants to stir the pot. That's why people were compliant with masking and, getting the jab and all the things so that they could continue their comfy lives, right? And so I agree that that's part of the reason why, Patriots aren't going to do anything. Now, I'm going to say this. I have considered myself for a long time a patriot. But in the broader meaning of that term, especially after watching these videos from these guys, I think I'm going to change that. I don't know that I'm going to say I'm a patriot in the way that most Americans would describe it. But I am warrior-minded, okay? I am justly minded. So ultimately what I mean is I do what's right. I try and do what's right in every setting, in every instance, and that's what I will do. What's right for my family, what's right for my mag, if you want to call it that, the people around me, just what's right. Okay. So Guns Coast to Coast talked about there not being a country, in his view, that he fully supports in its entirety. Some states he agrees with, some he does not. Some tenets of, the Constitution he may agree with, and I know that some he does not. And so there are parts of that I kind of agree with. There are the country itself is so fragmented on beliefs and values and core tenets that it's tough to know what you could be a patriot for if you're calling it, by and large, the greater country. All right. But what I will say is this. Ultimately, what I agree with the most is what Kansas had to say at about roughly 6 minutes into his video, was that what we should be doing, among other things, and I'm gonna preface this by saying what RWP thinks. We should be prepping. We should be making connections with our family, our friends, our neighbors, our doing all of the things that I constantly talk about, that many of these channels constantly talk about, in being prepared so that you can take care of yourself. Because if stuff does go south, you're going to have to be able to, you got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to rest, you've got to be able to take care of injuries, and protect yourself and all these things. And if you can do that in a way where when you've built something with others, hopefully you can, mutually assisting each other. But what he said at roughly 6 minutes in is probably the most important part, in my opinion. And that is, get right with God. Get right with God. Know that when it all goes down, and whatever goes down, and you draw your final breath, whether it's on a battlefield or whether it's sitting on your couch having a heart attack after eating too many Cheetos, Guns Coast to Coast, as he brought up, the Cheetos, whatever it is, that when you meet your end, that you know that you're going to come face to face with your Maker, and that he's going to say, you've done good work. Come on in. That's my take on it, Why won't the Patriots do anything? I don't know. What does that term even mean? And what the hell are we supposed to do? And when and how? We can still go vote. while I don't know that I fully believe that means anything anymore these days. But we can do that. We can do grassroots things in our own communities. But more than anything, just get right with God and prepare yourselves physically with putting up your stores, Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. And I'm RWP, the Real World Prepper. See you guys later.